When I moved into my new house, the real estate agent mentioned the neighbor behind me, old guy named Walter, who mostly kept to himself. His property was overgrown, his shed tilted like it hadn't been touched in years. The kind of yard kids dare each other to run through on Halloween. At first, I never saw him, but I always felt like I was being watched from that shed. Not the house, the shed. One afternoon, I noticed something odd. I'd left a ladder by my garage overnight, and the next morning it was leaning against my fence, right where someone could climb up and peek over into my yard. I thought maybe it was just wind or kids messing around. But then I saw him, Walter, standing completely still behind the shed, staring at my house. Not my yard, my bedroom window. I waved. He didn't wave back. I told myself he was old, maybe confused. Maybe his eyes were just bad, but it kept happening. Every few nights, around 11 p.m., I'd catch a glimpse of his silhouette in the moonlight backlit behind the cracked plastic shed window. He never moved, never turned on a light. I finally called the non-emergency line and asked if someone could check on him. A deputy stopped by his place the next day and then came to my door. The officer looked pale. He told me no one had lived in that house for over 8 years. The bank had owned it since Walter died. But I've seen him, I insisted. I've seen someone in that shed. The cop nodded slowly. You're not the first neighbor to say that. Our backyard was separated from the neighbors by a tall wooden fence, the kind with gaps you can peek through if you get close enough. My daughter, Mia, used to play back there until she told me something I brushed off at first. She said the man next door would talk to her through the fence. I asked her what he said. She shrugged. He just whispers, and he says not to tell you. I told her not to talk to him anymore and kept an eye out, but the house next door was for sale, vacant. I assumed she was pretending kids do that. Then one night I heard whispering too, coming from the fence. 2, 3 in the morning. A man's voice, raspy, low, and childish, like he was mimicking a child. I peeked through the gap. No one. I grabbed a flashlight, went out, and scanned the yard next door. Nothing but weeds. Next morning, I found little footprints in the dirt, barefoot, small, on our side of the fence. I called the realtor whose number was on the sign. She said no one had been in the home for over 6 months. We moved out 2 weeks later. In the apartment complex I live in, there's a unit down the hall. Unit 3B that's been under maintenance since I moved in. That's what the landlord says. The door's always locked, the light's always off. But I swear I've heard someone in there. Footsteps, furniture scraping, once even crying. I mentioned it to the landlord. He got weirdly defensive and told me, "Don't worry about 3B." His tone was firm, final. But then strange things started happening in my own unit. My front door would be unlocked when I came home. My toothbrush was wet-hand. I hadn't been there all day. My fridge once beeped like it had been left open. I set up a camera, just a cheap motion sensor one from Amazon. And one night, it recorded something. The door to my apartment opened, slowly, and a woman's head peeked in. She looked around, walked in like she'd been there before, like she lived there. And then she walked out, down the hall, and into 3B. I showed the footage to the landlord. He watched it, sighed, then said, "She used to live in your unit before she died in there."